I stay with the heat even though I'm a sad boy. You better watch the way you breathe around me for that breath be your last boy. I've been drinking red boy. I've been chopping out these birds, McCoy. Look, I made my rich in really 9 months. Overseas, honey skin.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. Once again, it's your boy Prince of What Is back here with the third part of this wonderful series. And I really hope you enjoyed the last one. Views don't really tell you anything as much as the individual who's actually watching your videos. So if it was fun for you, I don't really care about the views because it's just fun to write What Is at this point. So you either watch it, you don't, just like it, give me some comments down below. Your engagement is enough for me. Yeah. I'm top of the world right now. I feel like I'm high, even though I would never do drugs, obviously. I'm a softie. Anyway, let's get right into it. This part's going to be fun, I promise you. And if you want to skip the recap, just go to this number right here. Without any further ado, let's begin. The last part began with Haku and Zabuza attacking and being beat by Team 7, and when Gato came with his army, they were killed by Naruto's secret ice art. After this, the village is saved, and Inari sees Naruto off with tearful eyes, and on their way home, they talk about things and end up agreeing to going to the Chunin exams. They still meet the Sen Shinobi, but obviously things don't go as they would have, as in this timeline, Naruto gives his name to Gaara, not Sasuke. The Chunin exams still begin. Naruto fights and beats Lee, even without jutsu. And then the written test comes, a forest of death, which is hilarious because Naruto lives there, so he's kind of mad that you get the point. During the test, though, Orochimaru attacks still, but Naruto defeats him, and Itachi and Shisui take care of the rest. This grows the result of the team even more, so they train when they get to their destination eventually. But when Naruto is about to train with his team, he ends up fighting Gaara and winning, and then days later the preliminaries are brought up since there are way too many people still. Descending below the Hokage building, we find Orochimaru restrained by multiple seals hanging on his head when the doors are open to this chamber, and walking up, Jiraiya and Hiruzen make their way forward. It's been quite a long time. Don't you have an exam to watch over? What are you trying to do to Naruto, Orochimaru? Asked Jiraiya. What else? The boy's a genius, an endless well of knowledge. I haven't seen such prowess since his father, the fourth Hokage. You can't release such information and expect no consequences. That's fine, said Hiruzen. Naruto may be a child, but he never lose to you. You faced a nearly full-fledged sage. Orochimaru's eyes widened. Ho 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 ho! Jiraiya, you're fearless. Going back to the Chunin exams, we see Kabuto had quit for the purpose of thinking how to free Orochimaru in this timeline instead, while Sasuke faces his first opponent, that being Yoroi, and everyone watches on as Hayate tells them to begin. Instantly, Yoroi throws shuriken filled with chakra, which Sasuke dodges, blitzing the man with immense speed and bringing his neck a powerful kick to it as a massive fracture is heard. As he thuds to the floor, Yoroi goes in and out of consciousness, leaving everyone scared at Sasuke's physical strength alone. Hayate would then check him when he finally just passes out and declares Sasuke the winner. Sasuke then makes his way back to the stands, getting congratulated by his teammates, but he's disappointed. I didn't even get to use that one jutsu. What jutsu? Asked Kakashi. Naruto showed me one of yours, so I made something from it, and it was kinda awesome. I look forward to it then, said Kakashi. So, the matches follow the same. Zaku faces Shino, still loses, even without him being injured, like Shino would body him anyway. Tsurugi Misumi fights Kankuro and loses. Sakura fights Ino in the most pathetic fight, merely due to the motivation behind the two fighters to win. Seriously, Kishimoto, what the hell? Anyway, Tenten fights Tamari, loses so bad her fight wasn't even worth Kishimoto showing it fully. Shikamaru went against one of the sound shinobi by the name of Tsuchi and wins. And then finally, it's time for Naruto, who leaps over the rail and lands walking towards Kiba and Akamaru, already waiting for him. I finally get to kick your teeth in, said Kiba, as Akamaru barks at him cheerfully. Hi Akamaru, don't get buddy with him, said Kiba. Whenever you're ready, said Hayate. Well, he's done for, said Shino. You could have a little bit of hope, right, Sakura and I? No, it's true. None of us have ever beaten Naruto at anything growing up. Kiba just challenges him the most, said Sakura. I finally learned this jutsu just to beat you, Naruto, said Kiba. Smacking his hands together, he feeds Akamaru a food pill as he detonates with smoke, as does Kiba before it is all blown away to show a massive two-headed dog of white fur. Whoa, Kiba really went all out. Isn't that a high-rank clan technique? With a heavy breath, this massive beast then lunges forward, clawing at Naruto, who avoids it with his body flicker jutsu and keeps doing so until he says, "You can't control it, can you?" With the roar, the creature fires a blast of wind from both mouths at Naruto, who instantly weaves signs, firing back the same jutsu with the same exact power, completely canceling them out. "He timed it perfectly," said Asuma. "It's like he's an Uchiha." "Kiba, you got really strong, that's true. But that's not enough," said Naruto. As he creates a shadow clone, that clone detonates with smoke once again, taking the form of a giant ape, which easily towers over the two-headed dog, and with one hand smashes it to the floor, tearing the floor as the two are left split and sent tumbling all about like nothing. Akamaru? Akamaru whimpers with a weak voice when Kiba is then approached by the giant, massive ape, and then it transforms back to the Naruto clone. "Got anything new?" "Screw you. At least talk to me yourself." As he gives up being mad at himself, the real Naruto picks up Akamaru, petting him, when it's then snatched away by Kiba. "I'll win next time." Yeah, okay. I hope so." "I can't even hate him," thought Kiba. "Damn. Did you teach him that?" asked Asuma. "He took inspiration from my summoning of King Enma," said Hiruzen. "His transformation jutsu was just top notch for his age. He uses it in ways I never thought would be possible." Now, as he makes his way back, the next fight is announced, that being Hinata versus Neji, and this time, instead of being jittery, she simply makes her way down and meets him face to face. "You got this, Hinata," said Naruto. She nods, getting in a fighting stance, but one different to the Hyuga fighting style, so to say. "Begin," said Hayate. "Before we do anything," said Neji, "I want to say something, Lady Hinata." Moving forward in the blink of an eye, however, appearing before him, she would throw a palm strike. Neji feels scratch his cheek as he quickly retaliates and finds his attack to be caught. "If we're gonna fight, fight, Neji. I'm done letting people walk all over me." "She's changed," thought Neji. Both going back and forth, blow for blow, leaves everyone amazed at Hinata's ferocity, as she even manages to hit a chakra point on Neji, striking him in the solar plexus as he's pushed back, feeling his heart pounding out of his chest. "Hinata didn't have the courage to look at anyone in the eye," said Kiba. "What did you teach her?" As he looks to Kakashi, the sensei simply says he told her a story. Sasuke and Naruto did the rest alone. "Naruto did," thought Neji, grabbing Hinata's arm and pulling it in, and then striking all the spots that were supposed to be where her chakra points were, but then she pulls back that arm, striking him in the neck with it. "What?" shouts Tenten. "All the points in your arm should be. It's a quarter chakra, it's not that big of a deal," said Hinata. "Even if someone as timid and as worthless as me can do this much." Flashback. In that very same room where Team 7 sparred, Naruto introduced one thing that made Hinata what she is now, and it's surprising Kishimoto never used it, but we all know that he also sucks at writing female characters. We see Hinata staring right at Naruto while standing facing him while they cross arms in horse stances. Neither attacked, but neither moved, but the bloodlust Naruto let off was so scary she felt her heart pounding out of her chest consistently. "You feel it, Hinata? This is your one fear being erased. The fear of facing fear itself." I can't imagine how she's feeling right now, but the effects are insane. By using Genjutsu, he doesn't show an illusion, but hits a part of your brain attached to fear. Thinks Sasuke. It's essentially forcefully scaring the hell out of you. King's Force. That is the name of this jutsu. Hinata starts to lose, and she says, I can't. Yes, you can. Fear will only keep you alive, but to resist the urge to run from it is something every shinobi needs. You're not any lesser than anyone because you're a bad shinobi. You're a bad shinobi because you put down yourself all the time, and I'm telling you right now, if you give up, I won't be your friend anymore. Hearing this, Hinata can feel how serious he is, as friends are the most important thing to Naruto, and so she endures and endures. I endured and endured, and this is my true power, thought Hinata, as she gets hit, but then dodges the next strike, going into a rotating palm technique as Neji swerves away when Hinata then body flickers behind, bringing down her leg for a strike that he blocks, getting on one knee to the floor as he groans in pain. Rotating, that's not gonna work, said Hinata. Releasing a wind attack from her feet, Hinata slams Neji to the ground before he can pull off his next move. What, from her feet, thought Neji? That's not a Hyuga technique. As she backs up, she asks, give up, I don't want to hurt you. Exploding into laughter and complete awe, everyone cheers on Hinata as they cannot believe their eyes. Lee runs to Naruto saying, what secrets did you teach her? Please, I must know. No secrets, says Sasuke. Hinata's always been this good. She just needs a little bit of boosting confidence. That's what we gave her. As he gets up, Neji gets a bloodthirsty stare and he proceeds to body flicker before Hinata as she blocks a hit from him and then gets struck on a major point before doing the same to him. You are not fit to be a shinobi. You don't get to tell me that. 12 palms. As they go back and forth ferociously, it feels like everyone's on the edge of their seat, and Neji for once is tense, but Hinata treats this like when her and Naruto were training. This thought would keep her centered and keep her driving forward as they would both eventually finish the 64 trigrams technique, and both would just stand, looking right at each other. Their Byakugan, sharp and full of life, slowly begin to dim, and then Neji falls, but is caught by Hinata. I'm not gonna avoid your gaze anymore, she said. The proctor would smile, saying, Hinata Hyuga wins. Jumping like maniacs, Naruto and Sasuke cheer for her as she would then snap out of this zone she put herself in, and looking back at them, she smiles. Thanks guys, sorry I got so hurt. What are you talking about? That was awesome, said Sasuke. You showed him, said Naruto. That was badass. He even changed her to this degree, thought Hiruzen. He has the will of fire, and now he's sharing it, little by little. Neji is quickly rushed away while Hinata is as well, and she is put on a stretcher beside Neji, who is barely maintaining consciousness. How did you change such a destiny? I don't know what you're talking about, cousin Neji. I just hit and parried until I couldn't anymore. That's the way of a shinobi, or I guess I should say, my shinobi way. These words stun Neji, who feels as though his whole world is coming apart, and yet for some reason he feels at ease at being beaten. Naruto and Sasuke don't follow Hinata, as she wished to support herself for once, and they respected it, since she wouldn't be that gravely injured anyway. Gaara at this point looks to Naruto, Sasuke and Kakashi talking. Do you think that could have been us? He asked. Why wonder now? Asked Kankuro. We can't change the past. Yeah, you're right, mumbled Gaara. Just then, Gaara is called out to fight Lee, and so he teleports down, masking himself with sand, but then he takes notice of the splattered blood left on the floor from all the previous battles and begins to shiver. Lee gets to the stage and they then begin their exchange, going back and forth, tilting the balance in who has the upper hand until Lee activates his first gate, which Team 7 is informed on by a guy, leaving everyone shocked at the pulsating power coming from him. The very ground beneath him begins to shake and shatter, tear and turn to dust at the pressure he was releasing, and they all see him leaking blood from his nose. The tension is rising and he's about to tilt the tides. You absolute idiot! The voice of Naruto pierces everyone's ears, with everyone looking to him surprised and confused. He would then jump on the rail before him and stand on it, saying, What the hell are you doing releasing your chakra like that, idiot? Are you stupid? Well, okay, this is new, said Kakashi. Naruto, said Hayate, please don't interrupt the fight. Oh, sorry, it's just the gates don't work by forcing chakra out like that. That's literally how they work, said Lee. No, it's been taught wrong. Guy Sensei was taught wrong, and so you... Lord Third, if this goes on, I'm afraid you're gonna lose an incredible shinobi. What does he mean, thought Guy? Taught wrong? As he jumps down, Naruto bows, asking him to let him do this one thing, and everyone is left speechless because Naruto is known to not be a jerk, but kind of prideful and so strong. People like him bowing to someone is bizarre, even if it's Lord Third, because people have noticed he has bad blood with him. But Hiruzen is shocked most of all, obviously. So, you bow your head to me for the sake of your comrades, thought Hiruzen. You may interfere, Naruto. Cool. For starters, as he runs to Lee, he taps each and every single chakra point in his body, with everyone wondering if this should really be allowed. But then they start to see and notice and change in Lee's body, and he begins to undergo a sort of transformation, I guess. Not like a physical one, but chakra-wise. The chakra, instead of pulsating from his body, begins to turn into a more flowing, less rigid version of itself. Being more relaxed, his skin returns to normal and he feels the pressure just release off of his body, and Naruto begins to weave signs. This better be worth it, said Gaara. Oh, you know me, Gaara the Sand. I always deliver, don't I? As he thinks back to the fight he had with him, for even a second, Gaara would show a smile, a genuine one, right as Naruto finishes his jutsu and smiles. There, it's not gonna last long, but this should be enough. He steps away and Lee would look at himself, and Hiruzen realizes what the boy did. Instead of forcing the chakra, he allowed Lee's points to let it pass through gently, and in exchange, while the original force was reduced, his control increased. But there's something else. Naruto would then jump back to the stance, and Lee gets in a fighting stance. I'm starting to understand what you mean, Naruto. Thank you. What did he do to him? Asked Tenten. Just then, he rushes at Gaara, who blocks with sand, but Lee's hand would drill through this, striking him in the jaw and cracking the shield across the skin of the sand demon, leaving him and his siblings shocked. Just for a moment, he raised the power to that of the second gate. Naruto, said Guy, how is this possible? I told you, you've been learning it wrong. It's an amateur jutsu. No one took a chance to innovate. Yes, your chakra naturally limits the way that the gates allow you to use it, but trying to go against that rule was a bad idea. So I simply use seals to increase the passing of chakra through each of the points to make it smoother. You and Lee are already peak humans in terms of combat and such. You didn't need to force the chakra. Just let it flow, thought Lee, as he struck with the power of the third gate as he chases Gaara, who he sent flying, appearing above him and striking him down as he crashes. However, an explosion of sand rises, nearly spearing Lee, who unravels his bandages, filling them with chakra as he swings, blowing through the now hardened element. Yes, this is it, thought Lee. Neji, I'm sure Hinata isn't the only one who can face you now. He's evolving even now? Thought Tenten. Lee, you are so cool right now. Having a bright smile on his face, Lee would drop with Gaara, who begins to weave signs, but Lee attacks, striking him only to blow away a clone as Gaara appears elsewhere, having finished his new jutsu. You're not the only one who got stronger, mumbled Gaara. As he screams, he begins to raise every bit of sand in the area as Lee loses footing, finding himself on a platform of sand, which he kicks off of, heading for Gaara, who counters with a massive sand wall as they both would shout and clash. A massive explosion of chakra and dust is blown their way, with everyone closing their eyes and eventually opening them, and they find that both Gaara and Lee are still facing one another. However, Lee has exited his altered gates, and bits of sand are still rising around Gaara, who was raring to go at any time. I lose. Dang it, Sen. Gaara of the Sand wins, said Hayate. Teleporting back to the stands, Gaara will be asked by siblings if he was okay, and he doesn't answer, only looking to Guy and Tenten as they go down, congratulating Lee for his breakthrough. I mean, it was amazing. I don't know what happened, but I felt more calm. Guy-sensei. He looks to his sensei with hopeful eyes, and so does he back at his student, but he feels as though Naruto was right. He never tried to change the technique and instead brute forced it. Lee would have been near death if he kept going like that. I need to be better. As he ruffles the head of both Tenten and Lee, Tenten gets embarrassed, asking why he's doing that, and he simply smiles. After this, Choji fights and loses to Dosu, and matches are set for the final match coming up in a month. Neji and Hinata at the moment come out of the healing ward to see the matchups, and Hinata is shocked to be matched against Naruto. Oh my god, Hinata, this is gonna be so exciting. I'm not holding anything back, said Naruto. Please do, or she might die, thought everyone. With a smile, however, she accepts his challenge, and Hiruzen wishes them luck on their journey to get stronger. He approaches the young lady, saying, Hinata, I've never seen you so brimming with passion before. Your will of fire has been ignited. That much I can see. As she nods, he says that he's looking forward to what happens next, and tells them they may leave. And so the teams begin to disperse, with Team Guy naturally ending up walking with Team 7, which is quite awkward for Hinata. I'm not gonna let you beat me again, said Neji. Huh? Maybe destiny isn't reliable, but I can rely on my own strength, Lady Hinata. I will not lose again. Good, neither will I. Ah, good times, said Naruto. Also, why are you two staring at me like that? Guy and Lee can't help but do so, as he simply says they need to alter how they release their chakra. He's been trying to explain how the gates should actually go, and he says, I'll give you the schematics for the seal. They can be applied by anyone skilled enough in ninjutsu or just controlling chakra, so just have Tenten or Neji help you out. Bye-bye. As he poofs away, Kakashi would sigh, saying, you guys made him run. Good job. What? How? They both shout. Kakashi-sensei, can I get some pointers on that jutsu I've been working on? I just figured out the name. Pale Tide. Sure, let's go to the third training ground. We then cut to Naruto as he walks the streets of Konoha, and he gets stares, but they're not that of hate or anger. It's more so that of a need for forgiveness, a need for understanding. Oh, young master, did you finish the exams? Yep, super exciting, said Naruto. Would you like to try our stand? Nope, don't care. He leaves a conflicting feeling with all the villagers when his presence shows any time. Maybe I wasn't very clear enough with how the death of Danzo impacted everyone, but They became aware of Naruto's true ability and identity. He is now known as the genius child of Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki, the previous Jinchuriki of the village. For the sake of getting forgiven, everyone treats him much more differently, which he hates as he feels like it's fake. And it kinda is, but they truly do want to make up for their prejudice. It was just too late. He reached out to them all the time. He reached a hand out so many times, and finally he cut ties or needs to uphold the honor of this village because it wasn't really his village. It didn't feel like it. He no longer cared about their acknowledgement. Just then he arrives at Ichiraku Ramen and his demeanor completely changed. Mr. Teuchi, a regular please. Oh, Naruto Sayame. I guess the exams are over. Nope, the preliminaries are. You guys are in for a treat. Oh, don't worry, I can feed you as many bowls as you want. Just at least try literally any other food, said Teuchi. You must have a vast diet. Nah, I don't like the look people give me over there, any other place. I like being here. This silences the two, and they know the source of his conflation, but they say okay. You better get ready, because I added a new twist to it, said Teuchi. Ayame? Right, let's begin. Well, you guys are lighting on fire. I guess this is what Gaia Sensei calls the power of youth or whatever. And soon he enjoys some amazing ramen. Night falls. Most people are asleep, except for certain ones. Getting revved up and ready to use all their time given to them to surpass their limits and become powerful shinobi were training a lot. Like they were pushing themselves a lot. But on this night, we find Shisui scouting about with the Anbu, and they had split looking for the forces working with Orochimaru. And this is when he stumbles upon something. The moonlight bathes a massive monster in darkness atop a roof. Jinchuriki, huh? Thought Shisui. Can't have that going down, Sunagakure. Moving forward, as the nearly taken over Gaara claws at Dosu, the Sand Ninja disappears and leaves the onlookers of this shocked, that being Baki and Kabuto, who then get scared as behind them they feel this terrifying presence. They don't even need to look behind them to know it was Shisui, now holding Dosu. You've meddled in matters you never should have. Turning quickly, Kabuto strikes with his hand covered in chakra and is countered by Shisui, who then sways back, avoiding a kunai from Baki when from behind the Sand Ninja a slash is swung at his tendon. He falls back, losing his balance, and is struck in the neck by a clone that then catches him as Kabuto disappears with a poof. The two Shisuis, the clone and the real one, now look off, simply smiling as Kabuto appears somewhere else in an alley, hidden in darkness, trying to get away to somewhere in the village. Damn it, our cover's been ruined, he thought. Just then, however, in the darkness, he sees red beady eyes that begin to multiply and multiply until he realizes he was surrounded. Goddamn Uchiha. As those eyes swerve about, the muffled screams of Kabuto are heard as they fade into the prison of Orochimaru, who despite all of this, simply smiles. Time skip, 2 weeks. So that's your new jutsu, said Hinata to Sasuke. Yeah, it's hard to need the chakra when the output's like this, so I increase how long it can last, but I feel like it can be even better. Well, I would say something, but I'll just go ahead. I know you can help yourself, Naruto, said Sasuke. Yeah, I can. Clearly, this jutsu is going to focus on speed, striking force, and... Remember what I told you about the restraining seal? Yeah? If you do this instead of this, you create a different variation of summoning jutsu. Try it out. He had just shown him some hand signs, and Sasuke would then weave these signs, connecting the corresponding signs with the kanji inscribed as he teleports to the seal written down that Naruto had put down for him and surprises himself. I think I just got an idea. I don't need to do a lot of studying on sealing jutsu though, but it just might work. Thanks, Naruto. No problem. Hinata, you're up next, said Kakashi. As she nods, Hinata steps forward and begins by holding her hand forward and striking. As while she holds her hand in a knife position, trying to pierce the air, she repeats the same thrusts over and over and over until they begin to notice something as sharp, concentrated bits of chakra follow her movements, and she says the following: Water Needle. As she repeats these strikes, she comes to a stop, leaving her teammates in shock as she riddled the floor with holes, and she says she developed it using the gentle fist technique. That's all for me. As they begin to clap to hype her up, she walks back with her saying that it's Naruto's turn, and so he steps up. Alright, I recently advanced this one to this level. It wasn't easy. Taking out a scroll from his pocket, Naruto throws it to the sky as it unravels and the seals on it are shown, and moving at incredible speed, they would get off the page, quite literally, move down the parchment, touching the floor and spreading it into a circle around Naruto. Earth style secret art. Pit collapse. An invisible force crushes in where the seals were once present. As Naruto says, they can even switch positions and I can make them unseen using yin release. I thought no one could actually use yin release, says Sasuke. Well, it's used by almost every ninja in nature at least. It's not that crazy if you manage to actually tap into the source, but it'd take an immense amount of studying in relation to chakra. I guess all those years paid off, said Naruto, but yeah, it was worth it. The scrolls then fall as the seals will be inscribed back on it, and he catches it, rolling it back up and putting it in his pouch. Alright, I expect all of you to fully use these jutsus as if they were an extension of yourselves, said Kakashi. Alright, now time for some barbecue. As he walks off, they follow with Kakashi saying that they're going to his house. Don't worry about Naruto. I would have been fine going as long as it was with you guys, but yeah, thanks. Time skip. The next day has finally come for the final matches of the training exams, and the stadium fills with many, as Hiruzen mentioned, entrepreneurs, people of influence arrive to place their bets on these young shinobi and their potential, but also just villagers show up, and people of many clans, Hyuga, you know what I'm saying. Make sure you guys face your guests with pride, said Genma. They're the stars in this fight. As the kids in the arena look to all those who have gathered, the pressure to perform is immense, but their motivation was thus amplified. Temari, Gaara, Kankuro, Shino, Shikamaru, Hinata, Sasuke, and Naruto are ready for the final fight. After Hiruzen welcomes everyone and thanks them, he allows the first match to begin as Hinata and Naruto stay in the ring and have already had the rules explained to them. Ready? And fight, said Genma. He then makes way for the two, with Hinata taking the same stance she used to beat Neji, that resembling the form of Wing Chun, a defensive martial art that involves using defensive power and rapid punches, or in this case, palm strikes. He actually watches on, surprised, as this is the same child who couldn't even look him in the eye a few months ago, and as the crowd is raring to go, Hinata is the first to attack, getting up and close and aiming for Naruto's points as he blocks each attack, elbowing her in the chest, and she takes the chance to strike a point on his forearm before Naruto then strikes her in the stomach with a punch. While she skids back, she backflips and while mid-air fires a destructive wind palm as Naruto weaves signs, holding both his arms out. Wind style, Typhoon's Howl. He releases a massive revolving blast of wind akin to Kiba's Fang over Fang, which he instantly takes notice of as he sees it in the stands, hitting Hinata and sending her crashing into a wall. Is he serious right now, said Kiba? That's totally my move. Oh, get over yourself, says Sakura. Just watch the fight already. I noticed you're on edge lately, says Shino. I mean, does it have anything to do with the fight you two had? Now, because Sakura and Ino are actually sitting right by each other, they look at each other and back at the fight, not answering Shino, but it's just that they're tired of fighting over someone, you know? I want to fight just for myself, they both thought. Yes, I'm actually giving them character development. I know, that's crazy. Hinata drops from the hole in the wall and blitzes, striking with her water needle, which Naruto dodges, throwing a kick at her neck, which she blocks before wrapping her arm around his leg. This Kakashi-sensei's move, thought Naruto. Hinata, you're on fire right now. While holding him, she fires another needle, which is at close range, but unfortunately it is countered by Naruto's palm, striking this attack and negating the attack with his own chakra. Yeah, if there's one thing Naruto holds over everyone as far as I've noticed, it's his overall knowledge of chakra, thought Neji. This is a losing battle. I'm sure she knows that. Naruto then poofs to a kunai at that moment, surprising everyone as a parchment is seen on it and an explosion goes off, blinding everyone from what could be happening. Oh, come on, what's going on in there? Damn. Hinata is then kicked out of the smoke cloud, staying defensive as Naruto appears above her, weaving one-handed signs and then swinging down with the chop. Wind style. As his hand passes over her head, she is sent flying to the floor by a gust of wind. This makes her bounce back up from this insane pressure put on her, leaving an imprint of a wind arc in the air. Plummeting wind. She would then finally fall back to the floor as Naruto would land, saying, "Ready to continue?" Of course. Making a hand sign, she raises a clone from behind that rises from the ground behind Naruto, who was caught off guard as he struck on the shoulder, and then another point. 2. The Hyuga in the stands begin to feel their pride rise as she performs the 64 trigrams, and she's landing them all perfectly until she stops and a shockwave releases from Naruto, whose head would hang forward. A Hyuga genius. She beat the 4th Hokage's son. This is quite an upset, honestly, but just then Naruto steps, catching himself as he looks forward, smiling. I countered all of them. Sorry, Hinata. Oh god, that hurts. What? I countered every single point strike by covering them with chakra. I wanted to know what it was like to be hit by the famous Hyuga technique. This kid can't be serious right now. How is that even possible? People in the stands would be saying. This isn't about being a genius. That's literally impossible. The Uchiha, Hyuga, Akamichi, etc. They all bear witness to having the first person to ever take this technique and still be able to use chakra, as Naruto would then flash past Hinata and her head is knocked back as she falls forward with her eyes going blank. Thanks for the fight, Hinata. Okay, that was crazy. That was amazing. Oh my god. Erupting with applause, everyone can't help but like explode with excitement, while those who actually had to fight him damn near were praying somehow that Hinata's evolution would be enough to end him, but clearly it wasn't. I don't know what I was expecting, thought Shikamaru. It's Naruto. As he goes and holds her up, Naruto carries her to the tunnel on the side as he actually quickly gets up and heads to the medical center with Hanabi in tow, and Neji watches them leave. Up in the stands, Hiruzen is left baffled, as is everyone else, and this is when he hears, I like him. He would then look to the Mizukage, as Hiruzen would say, I figured you would. Yes, now in order to grow relations and prove they're not the blood mist anymore, Mei came here just to look onto talent, also letting her see if this is a great way to actually earn trust, because you know the villages have been messed up for a while. And if you're wondering what happened to the previous Kage, I already killed him in this timeline because the Akatsuki are advancing their plans a little bit faster, so Mei is already Mizukage. Point is, Hiruzen is putting a lot of trust in their village right now, and she's also making a huge gamble, since if they wanted, the Leaf has the power to kill her where she stands, yet no one is aware of this and they're simply enjoying the fight. It doesn't even matter that she's here, she's just a spectator, she's a guest. Ao then remarks, I have never in my days seen someone survive such a bludgeoning. Next up, Sasuke versus Gaara. Both stepping into the ring, get everyone excited, they're ready for another amazing fight, and Genma tells them to begin. Instantly, Gaara raises clones that surround Sasuke and would detonate as he weaves signs. Sand needles. As Sasuke is stuck, everyone gasps as he detonates the smoke and actually wasn't affected, and this smoke then dissipates into a mist, blinding Gaara, who looks about realizing he had been duped, and through this hidden mist, people begin to see glows of blue. Lightning strikes as behind Gaara flashes Sasuke, who throws a kick blocked by a sand shield only to have it shattered as his shoulder is punctured through. The mist begins to slowly dissipate as to their shock, everyone sees Gaara is bleeding and his siblings get terrified. And seeing his own blood drip down, Gaara begins to shiver. The instincts of another begin blinding his own. Mother, I can't hold it back. His shell was breached before he could block, said Tamari. And Sasuke's feet, that cloak. They're enveloped in lightning, said everyone. I've never seen a jutsu like that. This is amazing. Fugaku would huff, looking quite proud, as are all his Uchiha brethren, who look on with pride. It's a shame Itachi is missing, said Mikoto. Well, we never know what that snake will try, said the father. As he explodes with chakra, the ground beneath Gaara ruptures and cracks, with Itachi making an entrance at this moment and walking behind Tamari and Kankuro, putting his arms around them as they shiver, looking into his red eyes. Don't move. Not even a little bit. They caught us, thought the two, as Gaara would then take the appearance of a monster, really putting everyone off, as some realize he, like Naruto, is a Jinchuriki. Just then, feathers begin to set a veil over everyone's eyes, as from the crowd, mass shinobi begin their attack. A massive explosion goes off, with Hiruzen standing and looking to Mei, who nods, as they both take to the roof, finding massive snakes spreading through the village. A summoning art? Snakes? Asked Mei. Yes, Orochimaru. Sasuke stops forcing this fight and focusing on it so much and looks to the crowd instead, where he can see a fight has begun between his own clan, the Hyuga, and many other to protect the citizens of Konoha. However, this leaves him open to an attack from Gaara, who, as he strikes forward, actually hits air, and Sasuke appears behind him with a flash of lightning, and then beside him, all over, he creates after images. Lightning style, pale tide, multi-clone. The monster Gaara cannot control himself and simply swings wildly, as Sasuke appears above him at that moment, and with a strike of a kick, he slams him to the floor with immense power, and his eyes go blank. Just then, Naruto appears beside the Jinchuriki, as Sasuke would land, deactivating the jutsu, and they tag team high-fiving, as Sasuke jumps into the stand, blocking an attack from Ino with a kunai and spreading lightning through the metal, shocking the shinobi, as from behind, he's then struck in the head by Sakura, getting knocked out. Huh. Sometimes I forget how freakishly strong you are, says Sasuke. Getting embarrassed, Sakura simply says that they should try to limit the casualties quickly, and for once in their lives, the three manage to actually achieve some form of synergy. With the help of Lee, Hinata makes up for the injury she suffered from her fight and does her best to help while Hiruzen and Mei made their way towards the snakes. She, Chojuro, and Ao will help out with the fight, which brings up old wounds since the Hyuga know who Ao is, but for now they will have to bear with it. But like, they hate him, and I don't blame them either. Naruto meanwhile focuses on restraining the beast taking over Gaara, as he would mark him with his own blood using the seal above where his eyebrow should be as a center before slamming a strike onto his stomach, creating chains from his back that jab into the limbs of Gaara. Witness the power of my clan, One-Tails. You don't get to do whatever you want. As he begins to de-bijufy Gaara, he would roar, becoming distant, and he's just left out cold, and Naruto would stand, pulling the chains back into himself. Ah, my clothes are ripped. I need to analyze that sealing jutsu. I barely know anything about my Uzumaki heritage, huh? Orochimaru meanwhile escapes using the Sound 4 to release the seals and land atop one of the snakes. When coming to meet him, Hiruzen arrives in battle gear along with Mei, and Hiruzen is serious this time, saying, "I'm gonna kill you." Orochimaru is taken aback, knowing his sensei to be soft-hearted. Back at the stadium, the Genin have taken advantage, with Sasuke spearheading the operation as its leader, while the adults go for Orochimaru and also take away the citizens. They're using this as an opportunity to let their children experience a real-life battle, because it's going to be happening a lot more. Quickly, the enemy shinobi find themselves in the arena as they are slowly encircled in a group of 10. "Give it up," shouts Naruto, "it's over." Sitting atop a roof, Naruto begins to weave signs and tells everyone to clear the way as he screams and he lets off no sound until his shriek shatters the eardrums of their enemies, who begin to foam at the mouth. He then turns to the battle from afar and leaps towards the snakes, jumping from roof to roof while he finds other senior shinobi running beside him. "Have you found a solution?" asks Hiyashi. As he begins to weave signs, Naruto nods and he says, "I just need help clearing the way. Me and Orochimaru alone, that's all I need." Quickly moving forward, Choza would take the form of a giant, surprising the Kage and Orochimaru, who has his first summon bludgeoned with a massive fist. Fugaku meanwhile would destroy one of the gigantic snakes with a fireball never seen before, so huge, and so on, as Naruto leaps for Orochimaru, who begins to weave signs and opens his mouth wide, releasing a massive mist of poison which envelops the boy. "Naruto, no!" "Don't worry, he's too late," said Naruto. The air begins to chill as Orochimaru looks up, seeing that terrifying formation again. When did he? As the mist begins to dissipate, Naruto is seen sucking up the mist with the Winjutsu, standing on a platform of ice before then striking his chakra points. I need to thank Hinata for that beating next time. Yeah, that's weird no matter how I put it. Anyway, as he begins to gag and lose oxygen, Orochimaru takes notice of Naruto breathing in and out slowly. So he does have a weakness. He throws a kunai to disrupt this concentration of Naruto's breathing when it is blocked by Rock Lee. What? Do you think you can just destroy our home and get away with it? Orochimaru, while being frozen slowly atop his snake, sees now before him an entire army of Genin, Jonin, Chunin clan heads attacking and destroying his Sound 4, and at the center of it all, Naruto. His body begins to crack and shatter as he smiles. "It was worth it, sensei. I'd do it again." He shatters to pieces, as does his massive snake, with the pieces crumbling and demolishing houses as Naruto's platform fades to frost and he lands almost falling and is caught by Sakura. "You're taking all that poison, are you okay?" "My chakra system's filtering it out, but I'm gonna be weak for a while." "Thanks." "No problem." "Are your kids okay?" asked Asuma from below. "Better than Naruto," said Shikamaru. With the fight finally coming to an end, the village is saved, the Sound 4 captured, Konoha 11 empowered, and some relationships partly mended. How will the Konoha 11 evolve? What did Naruto do to Gaara? How much of his Uzumaki potential has he unlocked? Find out in the next part of Naruto. It's been your boy. Hope you enjoyed this one, and peace. I'm out.
Never let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me